Tres.
Hello everyone and welcome to your favorite show, Late Night with the Experts. Today our special guests are Dr. Cabrera and Dr. Tosh, and today's topic is childhood through generations. Okay, so the first question is, what are the most notorious changes that you as experts have noticed between previous generations and current generations? Can you talk a little bit about this, Dr. Sergio?
Of course. I think the most remarkable change that we have had in these generations is the use of technology. In former days, we used to use technology more in fabrics, industries in general. And nowadays, almost everyone uses technology as part of their routine.
Okay, thank you. And what about you, Dr. Tosh?
Yes, I actually think the same thing that Dr. Cabreras. I think the most notorious change is the implementation of new technologies and the internet. Um, Before we didn't have access to uh, information as we do now. And well, for the young people in their school, they can see these tools as very useful um, at the moment of writing an essay or perhaps doing mathematical operations. So yeah, I believe the most notorious change is implementation of the new technologies.
Okay, right. Next question. Do you think technology has triggered depression in young people? What do you think about this, Dr. Tosh?
Well, I don't think that it has triggered it, but I do think it has made it a little bit stronger. We as humans have always had this necessity of social approval, but now with the implementation of social media, we have this necessity 24/7. So when young people um, want to have this social approval, they go to social media like Facebook or Instagram. So when they post something like a photograph or a post, they expect to have a positive response, like a lot of shares or a lot of likes. And when they don't have the response they are expecting, they tend to get depressed because they are not having the social approval they need so much. So that I don't think it has triggered it, but it has made it stronger.
Okay, I agree with you. And what about you, Dr. Cabrera?
Well, I partly agree with Dr. Tosh's opinion because I do think social media has triggered depression, and there are some studies that um, can we can see where we can see that there are the depression rates and suicidal rates have increased since social media exists, and I do think it has triggered and maybe propelled it because, as Dr. Tosh said, if you don't get the social approval in social media, you tend to feel sad, depressed, and you feel like you are what people like on social media.
Okay, thank you. And now, last question. How sexual education has changed through time? Can you start, Dr. Cabrera?
Yeah, of course. Well, I think in former days, we didn't have sexual education, or we were poorly informed about this topic. And nowadays we have lots of information, and fortunately it is spreading all around the world because of technologies. But I think we have a problem nowadays, and it's that as parents, people tend to think about this topic as taboo. And I think it's a big mistake because information will get to children, and maybe it will get to our children not in a way that we would like to do it. So I think we must inform properly our children before this gets out of control.
Okay, good answer. And what about you, Dr. Tosh?
Yes, actually, I have a very similar opinion that Dr. Cabreras. I believe, well, in our times, our parents, for example, didn't have the confidence to approach us and talk with us about certain subjects because they thought about them like taboo. And in the schools, there were neither also a easy talk about these subjects. So um, now with implementation of technologies and social media, that kind of subjects are very easily to get to, like sexual education and adult content are click away from our children. So there are some teenagers that think about porn as such as sexual education, and I think that's very wrong. So I think the case for the previous generations was that uh, we didn't have enough sexual education, and now we overuse sexual education for that matter.
Okay, thank you. So this is all for today late night show with the experts. And thank you for being here and see you next time.
See you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.